they're on the up and up in some cases. So this is it's a dangerous precedent, and it's an example of why sometimes you have to do what's hard. And frankly, I wish Congress here had done what's hard. I didn't expect it, because voting, if you're perceived as voting against 9/11 families right before an election, not surprisingly, that's a hard vote for people to take.
There they go.
But it would have been the right thing to do. I'm concerned, and this is not just my concern. General Dunford, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, said this is a bad idea. Secretary of Defense said it was a bad idea. And then we found out some of the people who voted for it
Back to Papa.
said, frankly, we didn't know what was in it.
Watch him go up the
There was no debate of it. And it was basically a political vote. I understand that, but my job is
You want to go in bed?
to make sure that we're looking ahead.
You going to bed? Are you going to bed?
Our overall mission.
Where do you think you're going? You're not going up my pants, are you?
Let's say that there's a terrorist who comes here from Great Britain. Our closest ally would do all kinds of work with to prevent terrorism. But they've got some people, like they're radicals, who are living in our country, who may be
Peekaboo.
British citizens. They come here, they carry out something. Now, under this legislation, somebody who has been harmed by that terrorist could sue the British government and start asking for all kinds of documents and sending in a bunch of trial lawyers. And by the way, the last point I'd make, if we know that a country was helping a terrorist, then we call them a state sponsor of terrorism. And they don't have immunity, and you can sue them anyway. But that's a judgment that we make based on the intelligence that we have, based on our military assessment. And in this situation, we did not make such an assessment that Saudi Arabia was a state sponsor of terrorism. This is
I'm gonna get him a little rodent luck.
Our military and our intelligence in the hands of our national security professionals and putting it to the courts. And that's a mistake.
Let's get back to
Your favorite.
You might also recognize
Favorite
Marine
treats.
Corporal Brandon
Treat,
Raw.
treat,
During his second
treat, treat.
deployment to Afghanistan, he lost both of his legs in an IED blast while carrying a stretcher to help his friends who had been injured in an earlier explosion.
Where's the other one?
First,
Where's the other one?
I want to start by thanking you for being
Where's the
here
other
today to address some of the needs of our veterans
Where's the
all
other
over the country. And second,
Not my
for
thumb.
the numerous times you specifically checked on me during my recovery at Walter Reed. But my question, it regards a very small percentage of this country, the 1% that serves this country. We have men and women that serve in combat theaters 4, 5, even 6 times in such small amount of time. What can we do to take the burden off of these service members and also at the same time increase the number of citizens that serve our country?
Well, first of all, it's great to see you. Each time I see him, his arms are a little bigger. Those are some guns, man. It's just one of the things that has been most satisfying as President Commander-in-Chief.
Is that what you want right there?
Folks like Brandon and their heroism.
Oh, someone wants a treat. Somebody wants a treat. T-R-E-A-T-S. Yes, he does.
And other facilities around the world.
And some other one wants a treat too.
What they're doing in terms of helping folks heal, and next thing you know, they're running races, and doing all kinds of stuff.
Oh, you just want to go to bed? Well, your brother isn't ready to go to bed.
You're raising a really interesting question. One of the challenges we have is we've got the best all-volunteer army.
He's laying under him while he's eating.
The fact that
He's
people
eating.
step up to
Leave
serve,
him alone.
they wanna
Leave
serve,
him
and that
alone.
means,
He's eating.
we are able to get
He's
the best of
eating
the best.
over there. Leave him
People are,
alone. Here.
enthusiastic and patriotic, and
joking.
that's why
You're
our
joking.
force, I believe, is
Here you
at its peak. I mean, our military personnel are
okay, Papa.
unbelievable
Here you go.
across the services. But what does happen is, because our